everyone. My name is Yoshi Domoto with the Japan America Society of Georgia, and this is our 40-year anniversary. And as part of our anniversary, we are starting a new series called Have a Coke and Tea with the Society as we introduce and meet our members through Zoom interview series. Today we have a programs committee edition of our series, and we have Mr. Jim Hoadley. Hello, Jim.
Hi, everybody.
And we also have the lovely Nozomi Morgan.
Hi, everyone.
So, as the program title says, we're going to have a Coke or tea and then kind of enjoy our company and get to know another a little bit. So, I have a lovely Coke, delicious ice cold Coke with me. What do you guys have?
I have sun tea that I made with sun and a tea bag on my windowsill.
Wow. Nozomi-san, what do you have?
I have a Dasani, a Coke water, I should say, with me today.
Perfect. Well, yes, let's be refreshed. I might need a Dasani water after my Coke, but
Yes.
let's get started. Jim, let's go with you first.
Okay.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and what type of work you do.
Well, I work at the Georgia Institute of Technology, where I'm the Associate Director of the Center for International Business Education and Research. That's a center that is funded by the U.S. Department of Education, and there are 15 centers like it at universities across the U.S. And we work in a lot of promoting international business. It's kind of in our name. We promote international business education and also research into the field.
So you're a businessman and an academic man, huh?
More academic than business, yes.
Well, great. Well, Nozomi-san, how about you? Tell us a little bit about yourself and what kind of work do you do?
Yes. So I moved to Atlanta in 2010 with my corporate job at that time, with Delta Airlines, actually. And I decided to leave my corporate life behind in 2013 and started my own company called Michiki Morgan Worldwide. And we do leadership, team, organizational development for global companies when they have cultural conflict, like silos, misfit cultural challenges for these companies, especially that happens around when companies go through merger and acquisition, joint ventures, or disruption, like we're going through right now, which forces the companies to go through restructuring, reorganization. And we help our clients through consulting, coaching, and training. So that's what I do now.
Great, thank you. Well, I know you have much more extensive experience other than Delta too, but I know with all your experience and expertise that you have, I'm sure all your clients get invaluable information and kind of consulting and advice with their work professionally and also on a personal basis too, right?
Thank you. Yes, I love the work that I do, so I feel very blessed. Great,
thank you. Well, Jim, going back to you. I think you're American, but a little bit about kind of how did you first get connected to Japan and kind of what's your experience with Japan?
Well, I know we have the interest of time. You want to keep it short. When I've lived in 3 of the 4 corners of the United States, and when we lived in Seattle, of course, the Seattle area has a lot of Japanese influence. And I remember going to Uwajimaya, or as they call it out there, Wajimaya, and really kind of got interested in Japan at that time. And then we moved around, and then when we finally wound up living in the state of South Carolina, I attended, as The Simpsons informed us, the finest university in South Carolina, the University of South Carolina. So I am a Gamecock. And there I had a number of professors who were Japan specialists, Hal Beasley, and most importantly, Robert Angel. They're both retired now, but they're both still around. And they were Japan experts, and that kind of got me interested again in Japan. It rekindled my interest, and from there I went to Japan on the JET program. Wound up staying for another 5 years after my 3-year stint, and then eventually wound up back in the U.S. working for a Japanese auto parts supplier. Then went to Georgia Tech, and that's where I am now. So.
Well, I'm a JET program participant myself, so I know that the program and teaching English in Japan, it changes your life, right? So I'm glad that we're continuing to work together, and we're still in the U.S.-Japan world. But it sounds like Japan's literally in your blood somehow.
Yes, I've got a case of it, and I don't want to recover. So.
Well, good. Well, Nozomi-san, you look Japanese, so the opposite question. How did you get connected to the U.S. and American culture? And tell us about kind of your experience kind of getting into America.
Yes, so interesting. I know Jim for such a long time, yet I didn't know you lived in Seattle. So actually my first encounter with the US was actually when my father's company decided to send him to the US, to the Seattle office. So our family, my father and my mother and I was 6 months old. We moved to Seattle. So that was my first time. And then I lived there until I was 8 years old. And so it's great to hear about Iwajimaya, because that's where I would go after Hoshuko, after Saturday Japanese school, to buy nikuman, to buy the Chinese, but Japanese version of their pork hot buns. That was my Saturday fun that we did. So that's how I started my journey with the US. And then we went back to Japan. My father's term ended and we went back to Japan. I went to elementary school, high school, college in the Japanese education system, and worked in Japan after college in advertising and marketing. But I always had some connection with the US. I watched intensively American TV shows to keep up with my English. Especially I remember I watched like Beverly Hills 90210, Melrose Place. So if my English sounds a little bit from the West Coast, it's not because I live there, it's because of the influence from the TV. And also I watch a lot of movies, and that's how I kept up with my English. And then I had the opportunity to, because I could speak English in Japan, not a lot of people speak English fluently, so I had the opportunity to start up the Tokyo office for an American digital marketing firm. And that's how I then professionally got involved with US. And at some point in my mid-career, I was starting to think, do I really want to continue on this path? I was soul searching. And during that search, I decided I wanted to go to business school. And in 2005, I came back to the US to attend business school. So that's how I got here the second time.
Very nice. Well, during that last segment, we're gonna have to edit this and kind of play the Beverly Hills 90210 theme song, right?
Yeah.
Right, so who was your favorite character? Was it Dylan? Somebody else?
Oh no, I think I was I like the twins. So Brenda and Brenda and who? What's the boy twin's name? I can't believe I can't remember right now.
Wasn't it Jason Priestley was the actor?
Yes, but
I don't remember his character name.
For some reason I can't remember, but I think I kind of
Brandon.
With Brandon. I guess it's
maybe
Brandon.
I don't know.
I think you're right.
Yeah, but because they're a family from Minnesota, then moved to Beverly Hills in the flashy place, and I think that I think I resonated with that. Always being kind of in a similar situation, first being in the States and then going to Japan and then being in Japan. And then I've studied abroad. I didn't study abroad in the States first. I studied abroad in Hong Kong. So I had these experiences of putting myself in different culture and that cultural shock. So I think I'm just connected with that family.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Great. For Jim, I'm sure you're a Beverly Hills fan too, but tell us your family and some of your hobbies that you have right now.
Hobbies. I don't know necessarily that I have a whole lot of hobbies. My hobby, I think, is working for the Japan America Society and Japan Fest. That kind of takes up most of my time. Wow, family. My parents are still around, thank goodness, and they live in South Carolina. Also, my brother and sister-in-law live there as well. Got 2 kids in my house. One is now an admitted sophomore at Kennesaw State. He transferred from Georgia Southern. And my daughter, you might possibly, it's probably not quite loud enough, but you might hear in the background, she's practicing piano right now and is in elementary school. And we try to get them involved in Japan Fest and things like that as well. So that kind of takes up the majority of my free time. I think I saw a list in there also, you didn't ask, but I thought I saw on the question list you were asking about pets. And Emily now has a pet. She has a snail named Gary. So.
Wow.
I forgot someone.
I'm sorry,
Your
Nozomi?
better half.
Your other half.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Well, my wife, Yoko, of course.
The Japanese part of you.
The Japanese part of me, yes. Yes, my wife, who is from Nagano and works for the Japanese Chamber of Commerce.
Great. Well, yeah, my father is Japanese. My mother's American. I guess it's a little kind of opposite from your situation, but I'm so glad that your kids, are able to kind of grow up in both cultures. And but good luck, with taking care of that snail. I know they're hard to take care of.
You just put fresh lettuce in every day, and it's happy.
If life were so simple for us, right? Nozomi-san, what about you? Tell us about your family and maybe some of your hobbies. Do you have a snail?
I don't have a snail, but we have a lot of snails in our backyard. So if you're ever, if Gary decides to, choose a different home, then we have more Garys for you. So my family, all my immediate family is in Japan. I'm an only child, and my father has passed a long time ago, and so my mother lives by herself in Tokyo. But when I was growing up, I actually grew up with living with my grandmother, my mother's mother, and she just passed in December at 96, which was sad, but at the same time, she lived a very fulfilling, long life, and also that means I'm probably going to live long too. And then here in the States, I have a very loving husband. His name is Trip, and Trip is, I don't know how many generations, but his family has been in Georgia for a long, long time. So Trip is not his real name, which is really confusing as a Japanese. I didn't understand the concept of having this name that everyone calls you, but it's not on your birth certificate, or it's not on your driver's license, because in Japan we only have first name and last names. But his real name is John Donald Morgan III, and there was no Trip on there. So for the longest time, the first time I recognized that his name was really John was when he was signing, the bill for the credit card at the restaurant, and I saw him signing John. I'm like, who's John? Well, anyhow, so his name is Trip because he's a third.
Right.
And then we have a cat. We do not have human children, but we have fur babies, and I have a cat named Ko-chan. His full name is Kotaro, so he's a happy boy, and that's why I named him Ko-chan. And hobby-wise, I kind of similar to Jim, my hobby probably is Japan American Society, but also I really love my work. work-life balance kind of doesn't exist, or I should say work and life is balanced together. And I love reading a lot of books. I have like a whole stack of books that I love reading, which is for myself and for work, both. I love like self-development because I believe in order to really serve my clients, I need to better myself as much as I can every day. I love running. So a run, I say run, but run and walk. So every day I run and walk about an hour in the morning. And I do yoga once in a while, but also my love is eating and drinking. So I do a lot of cooking and enjoying a lot of drinking, any kind of alcohol. It always makes me happy.
All right, so maybe we can add something to our Coca-Cola or to our teas or to your water.
This is tea, not whiskey. I want to clarify that.
It is in a mason jar, so and you are from South Carolina.
Yeah, in that case, it would be clear.
Very true. White lightning, right? So, well, in the essence of time, just one last question for both of you. Just very quickly, I'll let you decide which question to ask, but to answer. But do you have any future goals, aspirations, or maybe a message of hope for our viewers? Jim, how about you first?
Oh, wow. Well, things that I'd like to see going forward, I'm really kind of getting into the podcasting, and I enjoy podcasting as a way to share my knowledge and my experiences with other people. And I think that's beneficial. It's beneficial to me, but it's also beneficial to the people who are getting that. I love listening to podcasts. I enjoy making them. The only problem I have with listening to podcasts is sometimes I feel if they're really professional, I feel like I'm not going to be able to perform at the level of quality that they're making. But sometimes you got to go ahead and you got to do something anyway if you believe in it, and eventually you do get better. And yeah, you're never going to get as good as like the professionals because they have a whole staff and hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equipment. But I guess that would be my statement to people is if you want to do something, this is a good time. Life is kind of giving us a little bit of a reset that we can step back, we can examine where we are, what we're doing. We're not caught up in that, and maybe we can use that time to do something that we've always wanted to do, or something that we've been dabbling in a little bit. We can step it up and make it bigger and make it better. And I think that's the best way to approach both the current crisis and maybe other times when life gives you a bit of a break, is to regroup and say, okay, what's the next way forward? How can I go forward in a way that makes me feel happier and more fulfilled and makes me better contributing to society?
That's a great message. So maybe since you enjoy the Japan American Society so much, and this is one of your hobbies, maybe this interview could be a podcast one day, right? So, but thank you so much for being with us.
That would be great.
Nozomi-san, same question for you. Future goals, aspirations, any messages of hope?
Yeah, well, I loved what Jim said. So thank you for sharing that. It really inspired me too. I feel the same. Right now is really the time. This situation, this circumstance has given us the gift of refocusing, rethinking, reprioritizing, and really reset. And one of my messages, or through the work that I do, is really helping people, organizations, leaders to be boundary-less. And I think this is a time that is even more important to be boundary-less. And what I mean by that is really help people to realize that our limit, our boundaries are what we set, that you set, and it's not what other people set for you, and it's actually what you have set for yourself. So this is a great time, especially if you have dreams, if you have a vision, if you have goals that was lingering in the back of your mind. And you feel like, oh, I can't do it because, oh, I can't do this. Oh, this is so silly. Oh, who am I to do this? If you ever had those thoughts, which I think a lot of us have had, and I had it myself too. I think this is a great time to really think about, if you have that thought, that means it's possible. The seed's inside you. It's really your choice to become boundary-less and really grow your boundaries and go beyond them, and really go beyond the limits that you set for yourself. So that's the part of talking about my goals. That really is my goal, to help people to be able to be that boundary-less and really get outside of their box. So that's more of the work that I love to do. And actually, I'm launching a new program to do that for more people, because a lot of the work that I've been doing was limited to corporate. So if you didn't belong to a certain company, we didn't have the opportunity to work with people. But I've decided through this time that I would really, really love to touch and help more people to really be who they are, and be allow them to really become the person that they know they are, and do what they really want. So that's the aspirations I have for myself and for our company. I'm really excited about it, and I love to share that enthusiasm with everyone, and really share that it is possible. It's possible for everyone.
And under current social distancing, touching in the metaphorical sense, you're still staying 6 feet away from everybody. Yes.
Everything is virtual. All our work is virtual. And that's an interesting thing, right? Enthusiasm or joy or happiness, everything is just a feeling. It's an energy of feeling. So we don't have to be physically together to feel that. I think that's one of the wonderful things that came out of this COVID-19 situation, that people realize you don't have to be next to each other to support each other, or to help each other, or to motivate each other. You can be far, far away, and you can still do that.
Great, thank you so much. We went a little over time, but that means that we just love spending time together, right? So, but thank you both for being with us, and stay safe, be healthy, and for all of our viewers, you heard it here first. If you always wanted to do something, get out there and do it. Don't hesitate. Now's the perfect time. And let's all be together and help each other out and support each other during these kind of challenging times with COVID-19. But if you want to learn more about Jim or Nozomi-san, come out to our events virtually or in person when the time comes, or come up to our website. They're both part of our board of directors. So, but hopefully we can all get together in person soon. Thank you again, both.
Thank you. Thank you, son. Thank you.